Thank you very much. Item 11, the New Brighton Pier project closeout. Dave, I presume.
Thank you.
Very good.
I'll keep it pretty brief. We finished works on May 2018, so it's not too fresh a report. I thought I'd just give you a couple of headlines and then if you have any questions.
Yeah.
So the project was delivered under budget, approximately 2 million. It was delivered on time. There were no significant health and safety issues during the works, and it was probably one of our highest risk projects, so that was good. That's really it.
Can I actually reiterate, excuse me, through the chair, reiterate that health and safety thing? It was probably one of the most difficult jobs to do in one of the most risky environments, being out in Pegasus Bay. And I learnt a lot through this process of the challenges that the currents in that bay cause, and Dave and the team, and it was really a joint team effort with our contractors and Worley Parsons and the team here that was led by Dave, did a really amazing job to get it through as they did.
Yeah, I mean, I found it an interesting report, especially the approach you took to actually dealing with the beams. And I've got two questions really. One is more the budget issue. So page, where are we? Page 100. So the project financials. The original budget was 9.9 million. Obviously, the budget, I presume, was reduced. When did that reduction happen? Was it prior to you starting, or as you went through the project? Or
no, the budget hadn't been reduced. I had been forecasting what I predicted. I guess we were reluctant because of the nature of working in the sea to give away that money until it was certain. So we held on to that budget. There was the initial budget was 11 million, and when we got the tenders, we reduced that, but then hung on to that money until we were certain we could release it.
so hold on. So the original budget was 9.88. The actual was 7.85. So 2 million variance, but the contract to for the main contract was 7.8. So I guess the point is, when you issued the main contract, that's when you knew you were looking at a lower budget.
Yes, we obviously confirmed a contract sum, but there was significant risk around the contract value was about 7 million, but we were going out to sea, and well, we had 2 cyclones and struck the old pier. There was significant risk still, even though we had a contract price.
Okay, because I'm
It
quite.
wasn't a lump sum contract, it was measure and value items in the contract.
Yeah, because I'm trying to work out where the contingency piece sat in the given obviously it was a very complex job.
It's
That's what I'm getting at. So
The contractor would have had some contingency in theirs, in the pricing, but we had some contract contingency held aside, as we always do, that was held back with us.
right. I'm just trying to establish the difference between the original budget of 9.8 and the actual award of the contract at 7.8, and what that gap is.
I can't recall what contingency was on it, but if it was 10%, that would be 700 something thousand, which we would have kept back. And this was, I think, a 2016 project, so it was before we were separating contingency and reporting it as a different line item, not part of the project budget. So it was all in at that time.
And any particular lessons from this project?
Partnering. We knew what we did well, and we knew what the contracting industry did well. So we designed how we would fix it, and we left them to work out how to access this very inhospitable zone, and just partnership the whole way through, working through the challenges.
So what sort of contract did you have?
It was 3910, but we did a 2-stage expression of interest to filter out who we wanted to work with, and then it was maybe 2/3 of the cost was temporary works, so we left it to the contractor to tell us how they wished to do it. In this case, it was large steel drums dropped around the columns. Someone else had a giant mechanical digger on stilts, basically. So there were a variety of ways they could solve the problems.
And what was the feedback from the contractor?
Oh, very good. They've won a couple of awards. They were pretty happy to work with us. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, any other questions? Glenn?
Yeah, thank you. Chair, I've got a question because I thought it was an outstanding piece of work, given that you came to the, it's a city asset, but you came to the local community board in which it is cited, and the board said in the contract, could you look for, you know, in the kind of the matrix of the award, an ability to keep at least some parts of the pier open to the public. So to pull this off is quite a feat, but has that actually served to save costs in a way by reducing the work site? Was that a positive factor, or?
I don't think it was. I don't think it'll affected the bottom line. But if a contractor has the ability to take as much land as they want, they'll take it. So by putting that pressure on them to shrink their cordon as they went, it was a good win for the community. But
Yeah,
I don't think it'll affect.
It'd be
the
fair to
cost.
say if they take more, well, the cost is going to be.
Oh, it's just a fence at a different point of the pier. It wouldn't affect.
Okay.
I did challenge the contractor to think a bit outside the box
Yeah.
to get the solutions that meet the needs that the community had put up as well. So
Well, I think it's a
good
good
thing,
can-do.
but-
You know, the council's talked about being a can-do council, and this is a good.
Yeah.
The locals and the city are very grateful. So.
Yep.
And in terms of other pier repairs we've got, because we've got quite a few of those to do around the district, will that have any impact on how those are approached?
what about Wolfsville?
We're transport, and this was a very similar bridge structure, which is why we were involved in it. Mostly it's parks and green space assets.
And a lot of the wharves around the peninsula in particular have got rammed
Government's Bay, Jetty.
poles. So it's a very different construction.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yanni?
Thanks for the report. Really good to get these reports. Just the scope on page 5 or 96 of our agenda. The scope of the repair works was to restore the strength and durability of the pier to pre-earthquake levels. So I just wondered if you could just talk us through, in terms of resilience going forward, future events, how the scope was kind of set, whether you think maybe with our insurance situation at the moment, we should have been thinking a bit more about an increased scope around to have it.
That's not a question for Dave. He was asked, and we were asked to deliver to get it back, get it open, get it safe, and get it back to pre-earthquake levels.
Right.
I can't answer that question, and Dave can't
So
either.
kind of the bigger question, I think, for us around the scope of these projects does need to be considered, whether we should be trying to self-insure by building in greater resilience going forward. So
I don't even know whether it could have been done.
right, I mean, that's
So
what I was
that's
interested
the
in
whole
from
point, that we were asked to get it back to pre-earthquake levels, so we did.
yeah, and from the damage that was seen in terms of when the Alpine fault goes or another earthquake event, is it fair to say we'd expect a similar sort of
No,
thing?
I'm not even going to speculate on that.
We don't
It's
know.
not something I want to speculate on. We did the job, and we provided you the feedback on the job as per the scope, and as per the scope that was set by this council. It's a pretty awesome job.
Yeah,
It's
good.
a pretty neat job to do and be involved in.
Yeah, but I think
But
for,
I don't want to speculate on
I just
any of
think
that
for us
because
in
it's
terms
not
of
okay.
decision making and things like budget savings, a question about whether we should actually take the opportunity if we've saved budget to strengthen to a higher level for resilience is a question I think we should consider.
I think that's definitely a future question. Anyway, look, great job.
Yeah,
Thanks
good,
very
very
much.
good.
Pauline?
Detail you can give us on the award that the contractor won and what for?
They've won a
didn't
concrete
get any
award.
information.
It's a pretty unique way of getting concrete down into the columns being repaired. I think there was an industry civil engineering award. There's a IPEN civil or structural engineering award being applied for at the minute.
Yeah.
So quite a few.
So it's not just it's the temporary structure, it's the how they did it is being as critical as the what they did.
Fantastic. Good
Good.
job.
Any other questions? Okay, well, thanks very much, Dave. Linda.
Thank you.
Good to hear about this. Okay, I have a resolution to receive the information. I'm happy to move. Seconded Dave. You may certainly speak to it.
Thanks. I'd just like to add my comments of congratulations to the project number of awards, and it was a project that, as Councillor Livingston commented a few moments ago, had some considerable interest in our community, more from the point of view of access to the pier, and really these guys went out of their way to make access as reasonable as they possibly could. I'm really pleased that it's come in under budget, as has every other project in the eastern suburbs of late, and that, you know, we have now reopened a considerable asset for the New Brighton area. Just commenting on the New Brighton area, you know, we have the clock tower right adjacent to it. We've saved a lot of money on the pier. We've wrapped the clock tower. It's been like that for 12 months, and we've done a bit of investigatory work, but we've been incurring huge costs for scaffolding for 12 months, and that's a bit of a downside to work in the area. But well done on the pier, and certainly our community has greatly appreciated the work that's been done in restoring it to its former glory.
Thank you, Dave. Any other comments? Okay, I'll put the motion. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against. That's carried. Thank you very much.